For a closer look at how the new administration could impact U.S.-China relations, let's bring in Shehzad Qazi. He's the managing director of China Beige Book International. Shehzad, great to have you with us. So what do you make of the appointment? Do you see the policy taking shape at this point?
Well, look, if it is going to be Senator Rubio, I think that's a very, very strong signal to the Chinese, not only because he's been rhetorically very hawkish on China, but if you look at the legislation that's come out, which has been very, very tough, and I think actually very, very good in terms of results-oriented, if you think about it, that's been coming out of the Rubio office over the last many years now. So I think we're looking at very tough China policies, definitely from the State Department if it is Senator Rubio. And then, of course, we've got the trade team that's still being put together.
Does this tell you anything about tariffs and how hard they could be, or no?
I think the tariff question is going to rest with, I think, the Bob Lighthizer of the world, his advice and the team that he's putting together. And those discussions probably go very, very aggressive and very, very live between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Shehzad, I think a lot of our audience cares a whole lot about U.S. companies doing business in China. So, and again, we've waited so long for some kind of reaction. I just mentioned before, China plays the long game, but we've had enough now that it would be a medium game response to actually push back on U.S. companies. Do you think that could be coming, or will it be a result of some kind of policy act in this administration that's coming in?
I think absolutely. Look, the Chinese toolkit is far more limited than the American toolkit, and American companies are absolutely one of the levers that they could push. So there's a big target on the back of American companies, no doubt. They're struggling as it is in China right now because of the economic slowdown. If Beijing decides that it wants to hurt Trump by going after American companies, they can most certainly do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that China is weaker than we perceive it to be at this point? When we're looking for the bazooka, does the bazooka exist, or are they so much more in decline than we think they are? Or am I just making that up to make myself fulfill a prophecy?
My big problem in D.C. and on the street is that some of the bearish narrative on China sometimes gets overplayed. But here's the deal, what you just said. The bazooka is there. But if they fire the so-called bazooka next year or the year after because they want to compete with tariffs, that's not really stimulus. You're just using money to run in the same, run in place. Or maybe you're running a little bit slower. It's preventing you from running too much slower. So I think that is a very hard cap over there.
Let's go to Taiwan for a second. Are they going to be forced in this whole game of chess to buy bombers from the United States and, arsenals like missiles and those types of things to show Trump they're serious about defending themselves? I mean, is that what this game is about to a certain extent?
That's a big chunk of what we're trying to get done. If you talk to policymakers in D.C. who are concerned about the Taiwan invasion in 2027, as we've said before, the big concern in D.C. is not just that does China invade, but do the Taiwanese want to fight? And the appetite for that right now is very low, and many people in D.C. are very concerned about that.
What is the incentive for China not to punish U.S. companies? Just to try and understand the other side of it. I mean, is it economic, not destruction, but hurt on their part? Will they feel? I mean, I would assume foreign direct investment would really grind to a halt, but it's already pretty slow as it is. So,
yeah, it's slowing down. Look, you could treat them as an ally. And of course, corporate America is China's biggest ally right now. So you could put that on the back burner and say, we don't go after you, but go back to D.C. and tell Trump to back off.
I see. OK. Shehzad, great to have you with us. Thank you.